And so anyway, as you saw, we give lots of suggestions to millennials for job hunting.
Right.
But how can employers actually keep millennial workers around? We're a little flighty, Julia.
Yeah, free drinks.
Cold brew on
table,
tap.
Nap rooms, like with those
Nap
fancy
rooms? I don't take naps.
bags.
You don't take naps. We're too high energy to take
10
naps.
minutes would be good. But most importantly, I feel they have to care about what we do. And we have to care about what we do. And the way we care about what we do is we'll believe we're doing it for a reason. Not, because, once in a while you run into those jobs. You're okay, like, sort these receipts. For what? Right? And I don't feel people our age or Gen Zs are really crazy.
So our next guest is the best dressed guy in Midtown Manhattan. He's a friend of Bold and a lifestyle coach. He can probably coach us a little bit. Let's welcome Klay Williams. How you doing?
Thank you guys for having me.
I used to host the lifestyle show.
Yes, haven't seen you forever.
With Klay. It's so good to see you.
He's always dressed impeccably.
Yeah, you always have this, I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, Klay, how do employers keep millennials around? And Gen Z for that matter. How do you not chase them away?
Yeah, first of all, it's getting rid of toxic work cultures, okay? A lot of people, we don't leave jobs, especially millennials, because we don't like what we're doing. We don't like the people that we're working with. And so the number one thing that I always tell people to do is you need to have a holistic wellness program in your workplace.
What does that mean? Because that sounds squishy to a lot of like old economy people.
Right. So really what it is because we spend most of our time at work, right? Majority of our time is spent in the office more so than with family. People want to have environments where they feel supported, where they can be vulnerable when things are not going well at home, as well as showing up in their full selves. No longer are there days where people are coming to work where they're half selves, right? Even look at social media, you see a lot of times people find careers through their social media. So people want to bring their full self to work, not worry about retaliation because they are bringing their full selves to work, and they want to have cultures where they can enhance teamwork and be able to be clearly their full authentic selves.
Yeah, I think we, like, as in our generation, we adapt to that pretty well. Like, you are you. I don't want to see half of you at work just because we're working on something serious. I still want to see who you are. Unfortunately, I feel, and this is somebody's going to say I'm bad-mouthing people who are older, but I feel people of my parents' generation, they're not adapting as quickly as I would like them to be. They're like, no, you're supposed to show up to work, and you're supposed to be professional, and you're not supposed to be vulnerable, blah.
Right.
I still have to work with these people.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
They're not the majority in the workplace anymore, Julia.
I know.
We are.
But they are. Yeah. But unless you work for a tech startup that's 25-year-olds, there are still some of those people around. Then how do you?
We'll name them old economy Steves.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think, first of all, it's about understanding the morale of your team. Employers and managers need to understand who are the demographics of the people that they're actually working with. And then besides that, it's literally having safe space conversations. So when someone hires me to come in, I'm trying to create a vulnerable conversation space where it is safe. It is secretive. We're not going back and sharing with, higher ups what exactly happened in this space. But what we are trying to do is promote a team effort where we're really understanding what are some of your needs, what are things that you are working through, what are some of your needs, what are some things you're working through, and to find common ground. If we're able to find common ground in a wellness-centered corporation, we'll have better employees all over across the board.
So we tend to do diversity well because this country is so diverse, but we don't do really inclusion well.
Right.
How does inclusion play into well-being and, profitability?
It's really interesting. I'm going to give a talk at Fordham University in a couple of weeks, and the first question they asked me, we have D&I representation. How is it that this group differs from other groups that you speak with and talk to? And I'm going to be doing some things with KPMG as well. And the number one thing that I think people have to really understand is people who are in these groups, all they're trying to do is just show up and be themselves without retaliation for being themselves. David, what was your question again before I forget my train of thought?
No, how does inclusion affect profitability ultimately? Because we do diversity well because the country's diverse, right? Look at us three. We're all, we're all look different backgrounds, geographic, education, but to feel included, inclusion.
Right. Right. And so, thank you for rounding my thought. And so I'm giving this conversation on the fact that of literally every single solitary person bringing their experience, not only does it increase your profitability in the organization, but people are more than likely wanting to come and join that organization. And so you're not trying to replace people. Attrition deficits are low. You know, you're not all trying to recreate the wheel. People want to stay in their jobs. People are not trying to go use like their healthcare premiums. People are literally wanting to stay there because they love what they do and they don't need to go outside to seek mental health and other wellness things. People are literally just getting that in their work environment.
Which is better for everybody.
Yeah, and companies, they really don't understand that. If you have wellness and inclusive environments in your workplace and things that you have in place, healthcare premiums are lowered. Yeah. Companies are not spending millions and millions of dollars for the psychologists and and of course, I don't want to.
But even more so, Klay, tech companies figured that out a while ago. If they provide childcare, make a campus that's alluring, provide food, their employees never leave.
Right.
And their productivity is through the stratosphere.
But I think, again, from your earlier point of view, we're dealing with people who I think have a really hard time dealing with change versus people who really want to be able to be competitive in this world and be inclusive for everyone.
So what advice do you have for the audience about your own personal well-being? So let's say we're in a toxic workplace. How do we navigate that and how do we maintain our own well-being?
Yeah, I think people have to be really clear with setting boundaries with other people. And a lot of folks don't know how to do that. One of the questions that I got from my Airbnb fireside chat was, how do I set clear boundaries with other people so that my well-being is supported? What's the language I need to have? First thing people need to say to another person, this is what I need. Is that something that you can support? That's to a teammate, or it's also to a manager, or it's to a higher up. If they're not able to support that, then there's a conversation that can take place. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you have to state your need first. It doesn't mean your needs will be met because resources are limited, but if you don't say it...
Well, and that's the thing. Sometimes resources are limited because a lot of times people are going around the circle and not identifying their exact ask, but they're going around because they don't feel comfortable enough to simply say, this is exactly what it is that I need. And if you can't find that organization after you have vouched for yourself, it may be time to venture to another place.
Yeah, it's a big free world. There are many fish in the sea, aren't there? Yeah, it sounds like dating. Jobs and dating are very similar. I was just saying that earlier to my staff. I have some of my staff that wants to move on to a different job, and I was telling them, think of it like dating. No isn't a big deal. It's like, okay, you don't like me, bye.
And that's it. Like you have so many choices. But again, people are afraid of change. It's about being hunkered down with who you are, your core values, what you want, and hopefully a company can be in alignment with that. And if they're not, then it may not be the place for you.
I am so guilty of this. I despise the office I've been working in for 3 years. And we're finally moving. We're going to move to a new, more millennial-friendly space. And the other day I thought, oh, bother, I'm moving. Like, wait a second, this is what you always wanted. No!
You don't even want changes that are
change.
Good. Because, it's change itself. It's not if it's change for better or worse.
It's just the idea of change.
We are resistant to change as humans.
We are. Yeah. And I think people are resistant to change because it requires a deeper sense of vulnerability within yourself. And then a lot of times we're just stuck in our modes and we get back to our default settings that we have grown up with rather than wanting to go to a newer set of settings that can support our well-being.
We're comfortable there.
Yeah. And nothing happens in our comfort zone except for ease.
Oops. Ugh, that's such a difficult part of life. Growing requires pain. No pain, no gain. Klay, great seeing you.
You guys too. Thank you for having me.
So great to see you again.
And that's the end of today's show. Can you believe that, Julia?
Oh, it goes by really quick.
You're going to have to give back those diamond earrings or else they're going to be chasing you.
Oh, these look great, right?
Oh my God, are you kidding? You look like $1 million. And those probably cost $1 million considering they were designed by Vera Wang. So if you missed part of this week's episode, you can catch up on all of our latest on Bold TV's Amazon Fire TV channel. And of course, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend.